So, in part of this journey, I would like to tell my story first. That way, you can get to know me, understand where I'm coming from, um, give you like a little Q&A, not really, but like a little advisory, let you know all the things I experienced, lived through, and I feel like my life story's pretty interesting. So I feel like it would be good to get it out there. Honestly, I wanted to write it, but I don't really know which audience would be interested in seeing that in a written format rather than just told. So I'm gonna start off and doing these in parts. I'll go with like the first 5 years in this video, and then I will move on from there. Disclaimer: my name is Tom. I was born in the southeastern United States, Georgia to be exact. The hospital I was born at was considered one of the worst out of like the top 10 hospitals for maternity. I think my parents were probably 21, 22 when they had us. Had me at least. My sister, they probably had, which they were closer to their teens, like 19, 20. But in those 5 years, a lot of upset happened. We had to get hospitalized because my parents weren't great at taking care of kids. I don't know if that's because they were low income or if they were suffering from any other mental health crises that weren't really investigated back then because I was born in the 80s. They may have, dropped the ball, missed out on diagnoses, or just not been looking into it because the 80s were a lot different. So we got hospitalized for neglect, and when you neglect infants, that's just like, you don't change their diaper frequently enough, you don't feed them frequently enough, you're not doing the things you're supposed to do as a parent, you don't pay them enough attention. Things like these add up and they start to cause health issues. And then my sister, she got in for dehydration. Like, they were really dropping the ball, mostly because my father was always working, and my mom was on prescription medication for her mental health issues, including epilepsy, which also involved a lot of tranquilizers and barbiturates, which make you very sleepy. They're also very habit forming. So that happened, and things were a little not little. Things were very unstable for us. Like, we moved around a lot. We didn't really have a safe place to live. We were here and there. Like, we always ended up in new houses, until it all came to a head around. I had to have been like 4 or 5. Um, and in this process, like, I'll get to the what happened at 4 or 5. But into this process, like, my sister was getting shipped off to not Canada, California, various other states, because our family lives throughout the entire United States. We helped found it. Like, it's a huge family. I could show you my genealogy stuff. Like, we're interestingly related to like a lot of people. I can get into that too for fun at some point. I do genealogy and other research things for myself and others, because it's entertaining and I'm good at it. But so between 1 and 5, everything was rough, but not too bad. But then something happened where someone had entered our home, and they did some really bad things to my sister, and she had to get hospitalized, and that caused the courts to finally really step in, and they were like, you can't take care of these kids anymore, you're going to have to go somewhere else, you need to do something with the children, we're going to give the custody or guardianship over to my grandmother, which was my maternal grandmother, and that was in Mississippi. So 1 to 5 stayed in Georgia. Then between 4, could be 1 to 4. I mean, this is honestly, it's a little sketchy just because it's been a little while. But um, we lived there, and then we were sent over to Mississippi, in northern mid Mississippi. I don't know. It was Walnut Grove. I'm not entirely sure what that is. But my grandmother did teaching. She was a math teacher for less, what's the word, fortunate communities. Honestly, it was just communities of people who were low income and didn't have the means to live in nicer areas due to whatever reason. We'll go into that one day. But anyways, they were very heavily ethnic communities. I was just basically the one pale individual, not one, but like there were probably like 10 or 15 really old people. Basically, it looked like I lived in a little old person's community, but anywhere outside of that, it was predominantly African American and of mixed races, which is cool because I got to experience what it's like to be around people that just aren't my skin tone. And I got to learn that everybody's just people. And it was really great because I didn't get to pick up the same biases that my father has. He has some very strong ones. Uh, but yeah, I was able to take that opportunity to be able to be part of the community. I did like Meals on Wheels with my grandmother. This only lasted for a little while, but in that time, we did Meals on Wheels. I got to learn things. I got to help out with their paper route. I got to explore. I got hurt a lot. Like I cracked a vertebrae in my back and I broke my neck. But I explored a lot and got to see some things and look around and meet new people. And it was always me being very independent, which, mind you, I was 4 or 5 and I was leaving my house often and no one was really supervising me. And I would just wander to the neighbor's house or walk down the road about a mile to my grandmother's high school to see how she was doing. And she'd get mad because my mom was supposed to be watching me, but no one was watching us. We were just feral children, essentially. Um, and just going around and doing whatever we wanted to. And eventually we went from Walnut Grove to Biloxi, then Biloxi to Gulfport, where there's a little small place there called Orange Grove. And that was the last place that we were really stable. And this all happened in a very short time. The houses that I mentioned could have been like, well, between 1 and 5, because I know we visited my grandmother a lot because I believe we bounced between Georgia and Mississippi a lot due to homelessness and my mom never having a place to stay and my grandmother giving her a place to stay because she had kids. Um, so we bounced between there a lot, and that house was the last one we stayed at before my mom became addicted to non-legal substances, amphetamines to be specific, and she decided that she was going to take us on a road trip, so to speak, aka a napping of children, um, and just decided that she was going to go wherever she wanted to do while she was doing what she was doing and had no concept of right or wrong or the consequences that could come from this or the fact that we were 5 and 7 and we were homeless and living in everybody's house and sometimes in cars and sometimes in hotels, sometimes in trap houses. Like we had the experience, not a good experience, but it was definitely an experience. I won't go into any of the specific details because I got to be careful with the TikTok and stuff. And then yeah, and that was what happened up until I was about 5 going on 6. That's a whole new story. I'll get into that later. This is my first one for the algorithm to see how it takes. I'm going to send it out, throw in some hashtags, and see who responds.